that makes sense.
Okay, you guys have a chance to go out.
Just sign her name.
Richard Smith, building budget, and just software.
I know, and I'm part of students, so I'm always right.
Joe's right, is, we're there.
Okay, you ready to get started?
Sure.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. First thing is, we have some additions to the agenda. Tony Johnson, Sheila Loomis, Leanne Brady. Anybody else interested at this time? Oh, you already are.
All right.
Treasurer, yeah. Okay, so let's start out with the minutes. You all have a chance to read through the minutes?
And I didn't have the special meeting done. My little donkey got sick. I put my daughter's dog down and my donkey down, so I am gonna get to it, but I've just been under it.
So, have a motion?
Started.
To accept the minutes.
Is this the minutes and the agenda or just the minutes?
Oh,
You can do it together.
yeah. Doing good. Is that fine with you, Ian?
Yeah.
Okay, financial reports. You guys got a chance to look over those? We got the quarterlies. I know, Will, you had the question last month.
But everything balancing out correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's balancing out now.
Okay.
But we only got single time, so it
Well,
does
if
look
you,
good though.
if you look at the, and it probably wouldn't happen this time anyway, but sometimes I give you guys a report for April, and I don't have the bank statement yet to do the reconciliation. In the meantime, 2 weeks down the road, if somebody, and you know, people do, they get behind, they make a $700 payment, everything's good, I give you guys a report, then I get an NSF. That changes all the numbers, so. Yeah, and it's not a big deal, but it's, and sometimes I don't get a deposit in like I should. It's hard not to get the payments in, but if I deposit, if I don't put it in when I should, I might forget. And then when I get the bank statements, oh my gosh, I forgot that. So things can change, but giving you guys a quarterly, that's not a big deal. The X's down the side means that it's been reconciled with the bank and it's ready for an audit. But even in March, there's still 4 or 5 on each account that haven't went through yet. When I did this, usually I'll, if there's not too much to hide.
So this month, we have a chance to look at this month.
John's starting to pick up at the yard report. With money.
Oh, yeah, getting more.
Somebody sort of hose off the RV dump.
It seemed like there was another one out there. You just got one pretty long.
No, I did not. Mike might have.
Okay,
Yeah, it looks,
have a motion and a second.
I motion that we approve the financial statements for what, from March to here.
Okay, motion and a second.
Okay.
To approve the financials. 2 days. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We're on the bills that we must pay. The page. you'll see Alan Smith on there and it says water. Got Henry to the water meters now.
So he's willing to do it full time now?
He'll do it the third weekend of every month for us. Yeah, read the water meters. You read it one weekend before last?
I think it was this last Sunday.
Or
Yeah,
weekend before
yeah.
this past one. So. The Pullman one obviously is gonna go up a little bit throughout the summer because of mowing lawns and weeding. We go through more gas.
I think this was all just lawnmower stuff, part of it's RV park.
So, we have a motion?
So the Stokes Ritters on Will Harrington, that's actually, is that from us, from the Stokes?
It's, well, I couldn't get all the words in there, and it's a combination of some talks with Sue Wilson, who, whatever went on with the Camas Prairie, that was part of it, and then, Darwin Harrington has turned in a tort claim against the city, because his claim against Michael Grove isn't working out like he thought, so. I don't know, it
So-
was, I just need to let you guys know who's getting charged for what. I didn't spill it out, the numbers. No, yeah, I think Stokes is like 103 or something. Rears was probably the bigger one because he was talking to the prosecutor and,
They came here too, so.
yeah. And then Harrington, that might turn into a nightmare too, because they're supposed to depose Mike Porter and I can't get Dwayne Nye and, well, his shop flooded and did a lot of damage. It was supposed to be a storage shed, but they flooded. There's big lugs and cedar cabinets and a lot of stuff, and ceiling fans. I don't think so, cause Sam's flooded too, you know, it's just, you know, you smooth out a lot, and if you don't put it up on a foundation, thank you.
Yeah.
That's, I not only know what people tell me, I don't know much about it.
Oh. That answer your question, Linda? Okay. We have a motion to pay the bills?
A motion to pass it.
We have a motion second to pay the bills, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And these are only the ones I have, not all of them that may come in.
Okay, new business. We'll let Tony Johnson go first. You can get out of here.
You want us to stand, sit down, or turn around?
You can stand up if you want.
Hello, Council, Mayor, thank you for having me. I'm Tony Johnson. I am running for Latah County Commissioner out of District 1, Viola-Potlatch area, Republican side of things. A little bit about me, I'm a small business owner. I own Johnson Excavation in Moscow. I've owned it for 20 years, bought it from my dad, he owned it for 30. So I was kind of snooping on the way and seeing what's going on over there. It looks like Elderson stuff. Okay. So anyway, where am I at? I served 6 years on Moscow City Council back in the 90s, from 94 to 2000. I am currently on Latah Planning Commission. I've probably been there 5 years. My desire to run for county commissioner was to see it stay the same. It is going in a very positive direction. I'm running for Dick Walser's seat, who is stepping down because of health issues. And I'd love to see the commission go in the direction it's going now. Not right, not left, but just moving in a very positive direction. I'd like to see that continue. With that said, I won't take any more of your time. Thank you for letting me come up unannounced. Only got one cop light flashed at me on the way in, so I'm okay. So anyway,
Stater in that SUV.
it was a state SUV. So anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next would be county treasurer candidate.
Well, that same cop saw me at Dairy Quick Stop and asked me if he should follow me, and I said, no, sir, no need. So, I am Jan Ollis. I am from Princeton, running for Latah County Treasurer, and I want to thank you guys for making time for me. I also want to give kudos to everybody out there in the audience, because I've been to a lot of these meetings over the last month, 2 months, and you guys have it going on here. I can't say enough about the participation that I see here. Tony and I have been to a lot of these, end up at the same place, and there's been 1 or 2 people in the audience. You guys are awesome for stepping up for your town.
Yeah.
So,
Bovill
you know,
is shining.
yeah, it's unbelievable to see this many people. Anyway, wanted to just come and introduce myself to you folks, give you a little bit of a history about me. Probably 5 or 6 years of age, I had my first real financial experience in the Cayuse Kids Saddle Club. The big thing that all of us wanted to do was sit on Margaret Smith's ice cream truck and sell ice cream for her. But we had to learn how to count money. We had to learn how to count money back. That was my first experience. Everything else I have has been in 45 plus years of business industry. One thing that one of your residents here in Bovill told me, don't ever diss on yourself because you don't have a degree. I don't have a degree in finance. I have a degree in the School of Hard Knocks. I have learned accounts payable, payroll, accounts receivable, cash receipts, owned a business of my own, 2 of them at one time. And probably my biggest budgets that I've ever been in charge of was working for the Appaloosa Horse Club. I was in charge of their show department, which is the largest money-making department of that whole industry. And I managed their national and world championship shows along with the entire show department. I was on my way to Oklahoma City the day the bomb went off. I got to see Oklahoma City firsthand within an hour or so. Got there, no cars. I had to call people to get a car. It was scary, but it was an awesome experience. I've also managed some of the Appaloosa Horse Club's trail rides. The one that they go on for the Chief Joseph Trail Ride takes 13 years. And the year that I managed it, we were just getting to Yellowstone. So had that all set up at the time that I decided I was going to stay home and be a mom for a while. I had a daughter. In fact, I have 2 children. One is, oh goodness, can't even tell you how old my son is, 38, and my daughter is 28. She is 11 years U.S. Navy, just re-enlisted. So I don't have kids at home. Then I went to work later on at the Good Samaritan, which is where I met Becky. Becky was on our advisory board. And Tim Schneider was our administrator, and he taught me the importance of knowing how much money do you have in your budget today, Jim? Well, I don't know. Well, you better find out. So he taught me how to keep track of that and know how much money is in my budget, what I have promised, what I have that I can still spend. And that's greatly important in this position. This position is ran by and governed by Idaho code, rules, and regulations, so there's things you have to do in specific ways, but having that background in budgetary and being able to collaborate with other departments to put it together a greater budget, those are the things that I have done over my 45 years of experience. I now work at the Moscow Family Medicine. Over a year ago, almost a year ago, Clark Place closed down and I was a senior housing manager there and did seniors housing sales. They closed down. I could have sat back and drawn unemployment. Never drawn unemployment in my life. And I said, nope, need a job. 6 days later, I was working at Moscow Family Medicine. So that is where I'm currently working. It took me over a year to decide to run for this position. I started talking to business leaders in Moscow, getting their idea, what do you think, researching, reading, and about the time I decided, okay, I'm gonna make this official, and called the county and said, what do I need to do? Everybody came out of the woodwork and said they were gonna run. And my natural instincts was to turn tail and run as fast as I can. But that's not the ethical way to do it. Gonna give it a good shot. I feel I would be a good choice for this position. And we'll see what next week brings us. So I wanted to come up and meet you folks, let you know who I am. Was kind of hoping maybe Becky might be feeling good and I might get to see her, but it is what it is. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Karen?
Lean on you. Okay, I'm Karen Akers, and I was here a couple months ago with a couple of pleas. My first plea is that our community, no matter how good it looks, we have divisions, we have problems, and hopefully we're trying to work those things out. We've got a good community, it's too good to go to waste. A house divided against itself will not stand, and Bovill's too good for that. So I'm hoping that we can find peace, we can work together. The youth puts out a little newsletter each month. We have a mystery person, and the question we ask is, what is your wish for Bovill? We've done 16 issues. 14 of those have said that our Bovill people will work together and get along, or else our town's gonna die up. And so that's my prayer for Bovill. I've lived here, I've seen us go through some really, really hard times, and I've seen people work through it, and it ended up being friends. We've all been friends here at one time, and now we're split for different reasons. We have reasons. Some of the reasons are valid, some of them are there's been bad choices made. But the choice to remain stubborn and to not budge and not to hold grudges, that's equally as wrong. And so if you really love Bovill, I want us to work together. And that's my plea every time. Second thing is the youth. I've worked with the kids here for about 50 years. I've seen kind of all situations. I asked the kids one night, because of our situation in Bovill, what can you do to make Bovill better? And several of them had ideas, and they could pick up litter, and they could do this and that. But several of them said we could burn it down. That hurt me. I thought, what a horrible thing. This is their hometown. And I don't remember when I was a kid. I love Bovill. I have good memories, and I think most of you that were raised in Bovill have good memories of town. But we have to have an atmosphere where the kids want to where they feel at home and where they feel like people are working for them. And so I mentioned that we'd like to do something positive for the youth, because there's no place in town except the library that kids are welcome now. When Mary gets a cafe open, they can go there. But other than that, there isn't, and that's bad. I think it's the only place in Lake Hawk County that the kids can't go in and buy a pop somewhere. So I know that's going to change. But then several of us, there was 10 of us that got together, just kind of random and people interested, and had a meeting about what we could do, to positively lift our kids up and give them a good feeling about their hometown. We came up with a bunch of ideas. Some of them will work, some of them won't, but we're brainstorming. But one thing we would like to do is ask to gear in on the 4th grade through high school and have some positive activities that, supported by the adults and people around. And I know you have to have a license, you have to do this, and it's overwhelming. You want to give up before you get started. But what I'm asking is that, I don't know what's happening June the 9th here.
You know what, I didn't even look yet.
Okay, but I'd like to ask to use this building on June the 9th, if it's not already booked, to invite those kids in and any of the, adults that would be interested, and have a positive event. We got something going on.
I think that's our fishing derby, isn't it?
Doesn't
say
that's a
anything.
Saturday night. It would be, it would be at 6 o'clock, from 6 to 8.
Okay.
But I'd also like to waiver the cost.
We can do that.
So
Okay?
this is just like a youth meeting, or?
It is. I don't know. It's not under the auspices of the church, because we get all tangled up with that. But it would be for the youth. And I'd also like to have somebody from City Council be interested and be with us we're going to have a meeting at my house May the 20th at 4 o'clock. And I'd like to have somebody from city council come and take an active role in this and see what we can do, because I know legally that there's hoops you have to jump through. And, I'm not jumping very far, so I would,
You do good.
I
I'll
would
try
like
help
to
you.
have that happen. And that's all I've got in my mind.
Can help with that.
Mhm.
I said I can help with that.
Okay, we could do it together.
Okay, so the 9th, you think's
Yep,
okay?
yes, yeah, I already put it on there for you.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. Is Bovill Days on the 14th and 15th this year? in
Yes.
July?
Is it the
It
14th?
is because the first falls on a Sunday, and it's always the third Sunday, so it's early.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you,
You
Karen.
can let us know.
Okay.
Hey, do you need refreshments that night?
We've got them kind of organized, but we might need help with them.
Okay.
Okay, next on the agenda is PEP. Partnership for Economic Prosperity. Did I get that right?
You did.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, and Gina Terusio, our Executive Director, sends her regrets. I am Paul Kimmel. I'm Public Affairs Manager with Avista, and I'm Vice President of the Partnership for Economic Prosperity, which is our Latah County Economic Development Council. I wanted to make sure that you all get to come to our May 16th event in Moscow at the Best Western, where we'll have Doug Griffiths, who wrote a book called 13 Ways to Kill Your Community, as our featured speaker, and he's going to work with all of our Latah County communities to talk about what community is really all about, how to build for success going forward, what are the pitfalls, what are the things, as I say in these handouts. I'm going to pass some of these out to you. It's the behaviors that we tend to characterize sort of as harmless ingredients of everyday life, the things that we do we don't even think about. And sometimes they are actually leading to the death of the communities. So I want to make sure that you all get invited to that as well. So we'll walk through those 13 ways, and if I could just walk through those, because I think this is a great town that really is starting to get it and has in the past a strong history and appreciates a legacy as a community. But these are the things that can kill your community. When you don't have quality water, when you don't attract business, when you ignore your youth, and thank you, Karen, obviously you're not ignoring your youth, when you deceive yourself about your real needs or values, when you shop elsewhere, when you don't paint, when you don't cooperate, when you live in the past, when you ignore your seniors, when you reject everything new, and you ignore outsiders, you become complacent and you don't take responsibility. So those are the 13 ways, and every community is guilty of one or more of those. I can tell you, I work in a lot of communities around the Avista footprint, and yeah, that there are a lot of good people, including all of you here, that are trying to serve this community in the best way you can. So again, try and make it to our May 16th event. We'd really love to have you all here. It's going to be
What time is
really
it?
powerful. It's going to start at 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Oh, I'll be working.
And where is it?
So what time do you get off?
5:30.
5:30, you can just show up. It's at the Best Western in Moscow. So we'll have all of our Latah County communities, council members, mayors, and clerks. So we hope to attend that. So again,
Gina, you know me.
yeah, good.
Text me every now and then.
And then here's some copies. This is a synopsis of the book that I expect you all to read before that. It's super fun. But again, love to have you. Doug is incredible. We've had him speak at a couple events around the Inland Northwest, and he really is impactful. He'll be in town for our event, and then the next day he's going down to the LC Valley and talk to a bunch of communities down there. So again, thanks for all you do. I know it's not easy. Being a former county commissioner, there's always lots of things to weigh. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, next on the agenda will be Sheila.
July 14th, when I talked to Mike before he resigned, and I asked to reserve the community center for my brother's memorial. So that's why my name's on the calendar. This is the paper that Joe Groom sent to me. The city said they would donate to the memorial. And so this is a bill for $84 for the plates that are being engraved. So if the city would pay that, I'd appreciate it.
And then what, July 14th, when do you need that, the community center?
July 14th,
July 14th?
at 4 p.m.
At 4 p.m.? Yeah.
Nobody uses it on Bovill days, do they?
I don't think so. I don't think we use it both of these.
So, and if you guys okay this, do I,
I think we already approved it. You guys approved it like
You
before
did,
the new
months
city
ago.
council member.
Oh, okay.
even did, so.
About 6 months ago before, I came last year.
Yeah, and I heard, I
well,
remember
Mike
Mike
told me he
saying.
had a receipt, but he never, I don't have it at the office, but.
Well,
So do
that's the-
I give it to you, or should I send
No,
it to
mail it
this?
to Joe Groves at that address.
In Deary?
Yes,
Okay, all right.
thank you.
You guys all good with that?
Yeah.
I am.
And then, are we officially making Mayor Day, or do you have to be sworn in, or how does that work?
I have to be sworn in, yeah. So, okay, next would be Leanne Brady.
About 2 years ago, the city and BIG had talked about memorial benches for Dallas and for Gary. And I know that was okayed and everything, but I was just wondering if you guys had talked about it or ordered them, or if you would, if we could get that project taken care of.
Yeah. Leanne and I have been talking about it here and there on the way home. We need to see what's going on with that. So,
Okay, thank you.
And I think people were saying that we
Huh?
probably should get new benches for
Oh.
the RV park or something like that too.
I was just wondering if somebody is going to paint up the gazebo and stuff for Bovill Days this year. Because it hasn't been done for quite a few
It's
years
pretty
now.
tacky, the
Looks
boards
pretty-
are
looks
rotten.
pretty bad.
2x6s are rotten that go around the edge. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be painted, but it needs scraped and painted. It's really looking bad,
I'd
somebody
like to
needs
see
to
it
do something.
redone.
Sheila and I have
So-
painted it the last, I don't know how many
Yeah,
years.
10 times.
But it's beyond painting because the paint won't stay on it, it peels off of it
Yeah.
because the wood's rotten.
well, I could get another quote. I've got a quote for everything to re-side it, re-roof it, do everything, but it got shot down 2 years ago when I brought it up. And it was only like $3,800.
Oh, gosh.